The human ship Wanderer drifted through the Kelson Nebula like a leaf caught in a cosmic wind. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the swirling purple and gold gases that filled the view screen. The nebula was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. Navigation sensors barely worked here, and communication with Earth was impossible until they cleared the far side. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Marcus, the young sensor officer. His fingers moved across his console, pulling up data that made no sense. "There's a structure out there, metal, big, but it's not showing up on any of our charts." "Can you get a visual?" Curved surfaces met at impossible angles, and towers rose from its core like the spines of some ancient creature. "No life signs," Marcus reported. "No power readings either. Whatever it is, it's been dead for a long time." Yuki Tanaka moved closer to examine the image. "Captain, this could be incredible. First contact protocols require we investigate any signs of alien civilization." This was exactly what they were out here to do. "All right, take us in slowly, full sensor sweep. I want to know everything about that station before we get close." It was enormous, easily 10 times larger than the biggest human space station. Whoever built it had resources and technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. "Captain, I'm detecting a weak power signature," Marcus said suddenly, deep inside the station. "It's faint, but it's there. A beacon, maybe, or a defense mechanism." "Marcus, you have the bridge. If anything goes wrong, you pull back to a safe distance and report to Earth Command." Tanaka and 2 security officers, Chen and Rodriguez. They wore full environmental suits, and each carried a portable scanner and a sidearm. Sarah didn't like bringing weapons to what might be an archaeological site, but regulations were clear. The airlock opened onto a docking port that had somehow matched their ship's design perfectly. That alone was strange enough to set Sarah's nerves on edge. They stepped through into darkness. "Lights," Sarah ordered, and their helmet lamps blazed to life. The corridor beyond was vast. The walls were smooth, made of a dark material that seemed to absorb light. Strange symbols covered every surface, flowing in patterns that hurt to look at too long. "Recording everything," Dr. Tanaka said quietly. "The linguistics team back home will go crazy over this." Several times, Sarah was certain they were walking upside down, though her inner ear insisted she was upright. "This place is like a maze," Rodriguez muttered. "More like a puzzle," Dr. Tanaka corrected. "Look at how the symbols change as we get closer to the power source. They're getting more complex, more detailed. This might be a test." It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. Sarah approached carefully. Her scanner showed the sphere was the power source they'd been tracking, but it was more than that. Energy readings spiked across the spectrum, including wavelengths that shouldn't be possible. "What is it?" she whispered. The sphere pulsed brighter, and suddenly the symbols on the walls began to glow. They shifted and changed, rearranging themselves into new patterns. Dr. Tanaka gasped. "Captain, I think it's trying to communicate. Mathematics, chemistry, the universal languages that any spacefaring species would understand." Then the sphere projected an image into the air, a star map, and on that map, highlighted in red, was a solar system Sarah recognized immediately. Earth. The sphere pulsed again and a new image appeared. Dozens of ships, sleek and powerful, moving through space. Not human ships, something else. And they were heading toward Earth's solar system. A warning, Sarah realized. This ancient, abandoned station was trying to warn them about something coming. The sphere's light began to fade, its power clearly running out after countless years of waiting for someone to find it. "Record everything," Sarah ordered urgently. "We need to get this information back to Earth, now." And always those sleek alien vessels, moving like wolves through the stars. "Captain, we should go," Chen said nervously. His hand rested on his sidearm, though what good a pistol would do against ancient alien technology, Sarah didn't know. "Wait," Dr. Tanaka said. She stepped closer to the sphere, her scanner held high. "It's not done yet, look." "It's coordinates," she breathed. "Spatial coordinates somewhere in this nebula." Then the sphere went dark, and the chamber fell into shadow except for their helmet lights. "Power signature is gone," Marcus's voice crackled over the radio. Whatever was happening in there just stopped. "Tanaka, did you get those coordinates recorded?" Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the station was watching them leave. its ancient purpose finally fulfilled after waiting in the dark for who knew how many centuries. Back aboard the Wanderer, Sarah called an immediate briefing. The senior crew gathered in the conference room while Marcus displayed the recordings from the station on the main screen. "So let me get this straight," said Lieutenant Park, the ship's tactical officer. "An alien station shows us that Earth is about to be invaded, then gives us coordinates to somewhere else in the nebula. The invading fleet, if that's what they are, appears to be following a specific route. They're still months away from Earth, maybe longer, but they're definitely coming. They point to a location approximately 6 light hours from our current position, deep in the nebula. Our sensors can't tell us what's there from this distance. An invasion threat is way above our authority level. We won't be able to send anything until we clear it, and that's 3 days away at current speed." That sphere was a warning system. It showed us the threat, but it also showed us those coordinates for a reason. Maybe there's something there that can help. We don't know who built that station or what their intentions were. "If there's even a chance those coordinates lead to something that can help Earth," she said slowly, "we have to check, but we do it smart." "Tanaka, how long to reach those coordinates?" "We investigate the coordinates, document everything we find, then make best speed to clear the nebula and send our report. But if we encounter anything dangerous, anything at all, we abort immediately and head straight for open space." "Agreed." Sarah remained on the bridge, watching the screens and second-guessing her decision with every passing hour. "Captain, I'm picking up something," Marcus said as they approached the coordinates. "It's big. Really big." A vessel so huge it made Earth's largest carriers look like toys. But it wasn't moving. It hung in space like the station, dark and dead, its hull scarred by centuries of micrometeorite impacts. "No power readings," Marcus reported. "No life signs, it's a derelict." Tanaka was already analyzing the hull design. "Captain, look at the configuration. Those are weapon ports, dozens of them. This was a warship. This ship has been here for a very long time. Centuries, maybe millennia. And the design is different from the ships in the sphere's projection." Sarah knew what she had to do. If this ancient warship held technology that could help defend Earth, they needed to know. But they were running out of time. "Prepare another away team," she ordered. "But we move fast, 2 hours maximum. If we can't figure out what this ship is in that time, we leave it behind and head for open space." She led the team through, stepping into the ancient warship with Dr. Tanaka, Chen, and Rodriguez close behind. This time she'd also brought Engineer Hayes, a quiet woman with steady hands and a gift for understanding alien technology. The interior was nothing like the station. Where that place had been maze-like and strange, this ship felt military. The corridors were straight and wide, designed to move troops quickly. Blast doors stood open at regular intervals, frozen in place by time. Everything was covered in a thin layer of dust that hadn't been disturbed in ages. "Emergency lighting is still active," Hayes observed, pointing to strips of faint blue light running along the floor. "Residual power in the backup systems." That's impressive engineering for something this old. The ship was organized in clear sections: crew quarters, weapons systems, engineering, and at the very center, what looked like a command deck. "Head for the bridge," Sarah ordered. "If there's any information about what this ship was designed to fight, that's where we'll find it." A mess hall with tables still arranged in neat rows. Everything spoke of a crew that had left in a hurry or perhaps never returned at all. "Captain, look at this," Rodriguez called out. He stood before a wall covered in symbols similar to those on the station, but these were arranged differently. They formed what looked like a memorial with thousands of individual marks carved into the metal. "Names," Dr. Tanaka whispered. "These are names. This is a memorial wall for the fallen." Command chairs faced a huge view screen that was now dark. Control stations lined the walls, their displays dead. But in the center of it all stood a pedestal similar to the one that had held the sphere in the station. This pedestal wasn't empty. On it rested a crystal, deep blue and perfectly clear, about the size of Sarah's fist. "Reading active power signatures," Hayes said, approaching carefully. "Very faint, but it's definitely active. This crystal is some kind of data storage device." Tanaka scanned it from multiple angles. "It's similar to the sphere, but more advanced. I think it's designed to interface with a ship's systems." Her gloved fingers traced the surface, finding interfaces that her equipment could barely detect. "Give me a few minutes." A piece of cloth, preserved somehow against the ravages of time. It was a banner or flag, deep purple with silver stars arranged in a pattern she didn't recognize. "Got something," Hayes announced. "The crystal is activating." Lights flickered on, dim but steady. The view screen glowed, showing static at first, then clearing to display the same kind of symbols they'd seen throughout both the station and the ship. Then a figure appeared. It was a hologram, translucent and flickering, but clear enough to see. The being was tall and thin, with 4 arms and an elongated head. Its skin appeared to be covered in fine scales that shimmered in the light. When it spoke, the words were alien, but the crystal did something remarkable. Text appeared beneath the hologram, translating the speech into symbols that shifted and changed. "It's trying to find a language we understand," Dr. Tanaka said excitedly. She pulled out her tablet and began feeding it data, mathematical concepts, and basic chemistry formulas. The crystal responded, and gradually the symbols on the screen transformed into simple English. The hologram began again, and this time the words made sense. "I am Commander Zarketh of the Sentinel Fleet," the figure said. Its voice was synthesized, mechanical, but carried weight. "If you are seeing this message, then our worst fears have been realized. The Devourers have returned, and you have found our warning. They are a race that consumes everything in their path. They take worlds, strip them of all resources, enslave any survivors, and move on. They cannot be reasoned with. They cannot be stopped by words or treaties." The sleek ships from the stations warning, attacking planets, cities burning, people fleeing. It was exactly what the sphere had shown them, but in terrible detail. "We were one of 17 civilizations that banded together to fight them," Zarketh said. "For 100 years, we held them back. We built weapons. We built ships like this one. We built the warning stations throughout the galaxy to alert any new civilizations that might arise after we were gone. But the Devourers are patient," the hologram continued. "They are many, and in the end they overwhelmed us. My fleet made a final stand here in this nebula to buy time for the survivors of our worlds to escape. We succeeded, but at great cost. The crystal you have activated contains everything we learned about fighting the Devourers. Tactics, weaknesses, weapon designs. It is our final gift to whoever comes after us. But you have time to prepare. Use it wisely." Sarah watched in amazement as centuries of hard-won knowledge scrolled past. "The crystal contains our complete database," Zarketh explained. "But knowledge alone will not save you. The Devourers number in the thousands. Their ships are powerful, and they have conquered countless worlds. You will need allies." "These were the worlds of the Alliance," Zarketh said, gesturing to the blue markers. "Most are gone now, consumed by the Devourers or destroyed in the war, but some may have survived. Small groups, refugees, remnants of once great civilizations. They are scattered and hiding, but they remember the fight. If you can find them, if you can unite them again, you might stand a chance." "I do not know what species you are," Zarketh continued. "I do not know if you are warriors or explorers, poets or scientists, but I know you had the courage to investigate our warnings. I know you came seeking answers. That gives me hope." The bridge lights dimmed again, and the crystal pulsed one final time before going dark. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Hayes broke the silence. "Captain, I'm detecting a power surge in the ship's core. The crystal's activation triggered something. Main systems are coming online." "This ship is still functional," Hayes said, her voice filled with wonder. "Not fully operational, but the core systems are intact. Weapons, shields, engines, everything we need to study and learn from." Tanaka was already downloading data from the crystal to her portable storage. "Captain, this information is invaluable. Ship designs, battle tactics, even the locations of possible survivors from the Alliance. We have to get this to Earth immediately." "Hayes, can this ship move under its own power?" "The engines are charging, but it would take days, maybe weeks to build up enough power for faster-than-light travel. And I wouldn't trust a ship this old for a long journey without proper maintenance." "We need it to be found. Marcus, do you copy? We're bringing back data, but eventually they'll need to send teams here to study the real thing. We leave in 30 minutes. This would go to Earth too, a reminder that others had fought this enemy before. As she turned to leave, movement on the view screen caught her eye. The display was showing a tactical readout and something was approaching the nebula. Something big. Hayes, are you seeing this? The readings don't match anything in the crystal's database, but they're definitely not human. They're moving fast. Everyone back to the Wanderer now, she ordered. Double time. They were halfway back to the airlock when the Wanderer shook violently. Marcus's voice came over the radio, stressed but controlled. Captain, those ships are hailing us. The translation is rough, but they're demanding we power down and prepare to be boarded. They're charging weapons. Maximum speed. Park, what do we have for weapons? They were gaining, cutting through the nebula with ease. In minutes, they would be in weapons range. The crystal's data was in their computers. The location of the ancient warship was marked, but none of that would matter if they didn't survive the next few minutes. Evasive maneuvers, Sarah ordered. Use the nebula, hide us in the thickest gas clouds you can find. Behind them, the 6 alien ships spread out in a search pattern. They're scanning for us, Park reported, but the nebula is interfering with their sensors just like it does ours. She was at a science station, analyzing the pursuing ships. Captain, I've been comparing their energy signatures to the data from the crystal. These aren't devourers. The power systems are completely different. I don't know, but look at this. Tanaka brought up a comparison on screen. Their hull configurations share some similarities with the Alliance ships from Zarketh's database, not identical but related. Like they were built using similar principles. Power down and prepare to be boarded, but the translation software is working better now. I'm picking up more details. You have violated sacred territory. You have awakened the tomb ship. This is an unforgivable offense. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. We did not know this territory was sacred. We came following a warning about an invasion threat to our homeworld. We mean no disrespect. From a planet called Earth in the Sol system, we're explorers. We found a warning station that directed us here. The 6 ships had stopped advancing but maintained their positions, boxing in the general area where the Wanderer was hiding. Finally, the voice spoke again, and this time it carried a note of surprise. You activated a warning station, and you understood the message. It showed us a threat coming to our world, ships called the Devourers. The station gave us coordinates that led us to the warship. You were inside. He said there might be survivors. For 300 cycles we have protected this region, keeping the tomb ships safe from scavengers and pirates. When we detected activity at the Eternal Vigil, we assumed the worst. Fleet Guardian, we took only data and knowledge. The ship itself is intact. We marked it with a beacon so our people could find it again. There are those who would steal the technology, who would use it for conquest rather than defense. They're heading toward Earth. We need to warn our people. We need to prepare. We have watched them from afar, moving through distant sectors, consuming world after world. We hoped they would never return to this region of space. It seems we were wrong. Commander Zarketh said the Alliance's greatest strength was unity. He said survivors might still be out there, scattered and hiding. You're here. You've kept the knowledge safe. Help us find the others. Help us rebuild the Alliance. The Alliance fell because even united, we could not stand against the Devourers. What makes you think a new alliance would fare any better? The Devourers are months away from Earth. That gives us months to prepare, to gather allies, to build defenses. Commander Zarketh's gift was not just knowledge, it was hope. Outside, the 6 remnant guard ships held position. When Kesva spoke again, his tone had changed. You have courage, Captain Chen, and you speak with wisdom beyond what I expected from a species we have never encountered. Very well. Power down your weapons and allow us to approach. We will not harm you. But I don't think we have much choice. She turned back to the communication channel. We're powering down our weapons, Fleet Guardian. We're coming out of the gas cloud now. The 6 remnant guard ships were visible now, sleek vessels with designs that echoed the ancient warship they'd just left. They were smaller than the Eternal Vigil, but still impressive. One of the ships approached slowly. Sarah could see it more clearly now, its hull marked with symbols similar to those on the memorial wall aboard the ancient ship. Captain Chen, Kesva said, I am sending a shuttle. We should speak face to face. There is much to discuss, and little time to waste if the Devourers truly are returning. A mysterious station, an ancient warship, and now first contact with survivors of a war that had ended before humanity even knew aliens existed. The sphere's warning had been real. The threat was coming. But perhaps, just perhaps, they had found the first ally in a new alliance. An alliance that would include Earth and humanity for the first time. The shuttle bay doors opened, and Sarah walked forward to greet whatever came next, carrying the purple banner of the fallen alliance and the hope that it might fly again.